Title: Dominic prayed for 14 years. But what happened next broke everyone. The hospital corridor was unusually quiet that evening. Only the faint sounds of medical machines and hurried footsteps filled the air. Outside the labor ward stood a man. His hands were tightly folded together, his eyes closed, his lips trembling as he whispered prayers to God. He had been standing there for hours. Every nurse and doctor who walked past him could feel his desperation, his hope, and his fear. Because this was not just another delivery for him. This was a miracle he had waited 14 long years for. 14 years of prayers, 14 years of hospital visits, 14 years of watching other families carry babies home while his house remained painfully silent. And finally, today was supposed to be the day his world changed forever. Inside the labor ward, his wife was fighting for her life, trying to bring their child into the world. One of the nurses on duty later shared the heartbreaking moment. She said she kept looking through the glass window, watching the husband. He was kneeling now. Tears rolled down his cheeks as he lifted his hands toward heaven. He whispered, "Lord, after 14 years, you finally did it. Please complete it. Let my family be whole. Do not put us to shame." The nurse said her heart was already breaking because inside that room, tragedy had already struck. The wife had stopped breathing. The baby could not be saved. Doctors and nurses tried everything. Machines beeped loudly, commands were shouted across the room, hands moved quickly, trying to fight death itself. But fate had already made its cruel decision. Outside, the husband continued praying, unaware that his entire world had just collapsed. At one point, he even smiled. He wiped his tears, believing God had answered him. The nurse said she wanted to run outside, hold him, and tell him to stop hoping. But she couldn't, because sometimes medical workers carry pains they can never share. Minutes later, the doctor slowly walked toward him. The hallway suddenly felt heavier. The man quickly stood up, his face full of excitement mixed with fear. He asked the question every waiting father asks. "How are they? My wife? My baby? Are they okay?" The doctor paused. That silence was already an answer. The man's smile slowly faded. The doctor gently placed his hand on his shoulder and delivered the words no one ever wants to hear. "We are sorry. We tried everything." The man froze. His eyes widened, as if his soul had left his body. He shook his head repeatedly. "No, no. God wouldn't do this. Not after 14 years. Not after everything." His voice cracked as he collapsed onto the hospital floor. His cries echoed through the hallway, piercing the hearts of everyone present. Even the nurses, trained to stay strong, broke down in tears. The nurse who shared this story said, "That was the saddest day of my career, watching a man thank God for a miracle that had already turned into his worst nightmare." Life can sometimes be painfully unpredictable. Sometimes people carry silent battles we know nothing about. Sometimes prayers are whispered with pure hearts, yet life answers differently than we expect. But one thing remains true: love like that, waiting 14 years, believing, hoping, never giving up. That kind of love never truly dies. If this story touched your heart, take a moment to appreciate the people you love. Life is fragile, and tomorrow is never promised. Spread kindness, spread love, because someone, somewhere, is fighting a battle we cannot see. And please don't forget to subscribe. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.